One ending though, huh? That shit was not good. I would like to try to put it in a nicer way, but I just cannot. I think it's objectively dog shit, and the fact Fujimoto even wrote this as the ending for Chainsaw Man is pretty crazy. And you know, I don't know if dude's just like a super much more of a masochist than we thought, but there was no way that he knew that people were going to be happy with this ending. Like, come on. I feel like this is like a big fuck you to like people who are so really invested into this series. I'm just gonna go over why I think, you know, this ending for Chainsaw Man was pretty bad. How on earth is Power alive but Makima isn't? The reason I say that is because, in case you guys don't know, right, or just forgot, Makima only got eaten by Denji in order to avoid the death clause that she had that she made with the Japanese minister, prime minister, which was for every death she had, someone in Japan would die. And so they kind of figured a way to counteract that by, you know, having Denji eat her. And then, you know, as a result of that, she instead got reincarnated into Naito, right? I believe that's how that went. So, the fact that Naito's around and Power also is, makes no sense considering Power also died, right? She didn't get eaten or anything like Makima did, but, you know, she even said, hey, you know, I'm not gonna be around, you know, I'm not gonna be the same. I'm just gonna be another variant of the blood devil. Here's your contract in order for you to keep living, you know, find me, become friends with me, right? Or some shit like that. And so, with that, right, we should assume, by that logic, that it would be a different variant of the Blood Devil instead of Power. But it's not. Logically, it makes no sense, and like, you can't just have one and then keep the other out. You gotta bring both of them back, man. You gotta bring both of them back. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't. That's just kind of bullshit. It makes no actual logical sense for that to happen. You can't have Power, not have Makima. That makes no sense. Come on, people, we should know better than this. Bro, how do I only have fucking 7?
只有我守着安静的沙漠。
Why is Naito even in Japan? You know what I mean? Because I don't know if people forgot, and I think Fujimoto certainly forgot himself, or just didn't care. Naito's not Japanese, and she wasn't there in Japan by, you know, because, you know, she just happened to immigrate over there and be like, oh, yep, I'm in Japan now. Nah, she was extradited over there by, or taken over there by, Kishibe and, demon hunters and shit, because, you know, she's the control devil, and they wanted they left Denji in charge to just keep her shit in check, right? And with that, oh my god, her logic and the fact that at this point in time there would be no reason for Naito to even be where Makima is, right? She should actually be in China, right? If it wasn't for Kishibe, if it wasn't for all that, you know, she would be the, like, I don't know, I forgot what Makima's official position was. She was just in charge of shit. And, if we go off that, right, Naito can still be in the business, and that's fine, because she has the powers to do so. She could literally just control others. She should be the, like, head or whatever of the demon organization in China, instead of, you know, Japan. That's just what I think. Because she, again, only went to Japan after Makima died. And only after the whole battle with Makima and that shit, you know. She was not there when Denji first became Chainsaw Man. So, you know, that doesn't really make much actual sense. even if we go with the assumption that she's only there because Makima happened to be there, you know, that also just doesn't make much sense. Because I mean, I get it's a timeline reset, but that would just have to be brought back to Makima would have to be there instead of Naito. This shit don't make no fucking sense, man. That I'm more thinking about it, you know, like come on, are we fucking for real? Yeah, I actually have no justifiable way to actually explain why Naito is in Japan instead of in China. So yeah, I tried giving Fujimoto the benefit of the doubt, but you know, if you just think about it, it actually makes no sense.
No! 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 No!
I am so sad that Uchida is still alive. In my last video for Chainsaw Man, where I exclaimed my hatred for, or not my hatred, my extreme dislike for Bushido as a character, thanks to the fucking last, second to last chapter, or the chapter before the ending. You know, I was really laying in on how I just didn't really like Vegeta. I don't fuck with him like that. I think he a bitch, he a hoe, he a motherfucker. And the fact that he still exists somehow is, questionable. Because, you know, his whole point that he ate himself was so he wouldn't exist, right? That was literally 2 weeks ago, so I don't know how Fujimoto could have forgotten about that, because Bushido's so alive. He's in Denji's heart. Literally, like, it's not a metaphorical thing. He's literally in Denji's heart, because he is Denji's heart now. That doesn't really actually make sense, because what we know is it's been explicitly stated, he erases, existences, right? Like, that's what he does. Wherever he eats, their existence is erased. And so, come on, I pressed spacebar, bro. As we see, right, he is well and alive, just living on as an organ in Denji's body. That's hard. I'm not thrilled about that. I'm not happy with that. I really was hoping he would actually stay, you know, non-existent. And unfortunately, I did not get my way. So, you know, it is, it is what it is. But really, fuck him. He shouldn't be alive. We had no real actual satisfactory payoff with Asa and Yoru, in my opinion. They just happen to exist just to exist, right? They're just there now. They literally had no the only impact I guess they kind of had was mostly Yoru, and the fact that she basically brought upon, or was bringing upon Ragnarok, right? You know, even then, that didn't really have any actual good payoff, because she literally allied with Denji because, you know, she was having the hots for Denji, I guess. She was like, ooh, damn, I need me him. That's crazy, Ceci, pause. So, right, anyway, so as they were about to team up, we didn't even see Denji get fucking, like, obliterated or anything, like we were hoping to. The demon just literally popped up, was charging up like a left hook, I believe, and then I guess he just fucking, we didn't even get to see him eat, Denji. I guess we're just meant to assume he just fucking popped his ass, and then, you know, ate him, I guess. Which I don't think was really cool. And then the reveal of death, that didn't really go nowhere either, because, you know, they didn't really do much, at least from what I remember. They just kind of left it up to, Denji, which, I mean, I guess is kind of fair, but, you know, like, we didn't even get to see if they were doing shit behind the scenes. They just stopped being important. Same with, the Famine Devil. She got introduced and then literally nothing happened at all. Like, she just got introduced just to have, oh, technically, you know, I got all the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in there, which, whatever, but I guess. I actually have a conspiracy theory. If you didn't click off this part of the video, thank you. I actually have a conspiracy theory, right? Here is my theory. I think that Fujimoto is fucking with us, and that he's actually going to introduce the Time Devil in this story, messing with Denji, right? I think that could be a very strong possibility, because, right, literally time was reset. And time is a very well existing thing in this universe, and as we know, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was stated in there, but I would assume so. Time is I believe still in hell, along with like darkness and shit and all that. Yeah, I think what's really going on, right, is Time Devil is fucking with Denji and Pochita in order to, you know, I guess just have them like drop their guard or something, and maybe he might be fearful of, holy shit, what if Pochita comes down into hell? We could be fucked. Right, because apparently Pochita was moving like fucking Doom Guy in there, and you know, I don't think Time Devil would really want smoke with that shit. So I think this is just an elaborate way to just kind of keep them at bay, and then Denshi will later on discover that. And I think maybe the ending is there because, you know, it's another way to maybe fuck with like a whole, not only like a whole marketing thing and more publicity on them, right? But also it would be such a crazy mind fuck if that actually was happening. And I can only hope that that's actually what's gonna happen, but I mean, at that point, that's just me fucking huffing on copium. And I don't think that's gonna happen at all. I think it's just, no way. Denji just happens to be, like, Power's, like, servant or pet now. And, you know, Nayata's just running the whole shit in Japan, even though she wasn't born there at all. No one extradited her or anything over to Japan. So, and they would have no reason to. So really just the main synopsis, I guess, for why I don't think the ending was satisfactory was because some heavy ass fucking shit that just doesn't make sense. Like Power and Nayata existing at the same time is a no-go. You either have Power and Makima together or you don't have either of them. Nayata being in Japan still, you know, that makes no sense. She's either in China or she doesn't exist at all because the only reason she was in Japan was because of Kishibe. And then the other fact that Pochita's bitch ass is still alive, right? And also with Yoru and the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse adding basically almost nothing much to the story, except I guess Yoru just bringing up about a cool apocalypse scene before Denji got his fucking lights knocked out and eaten, I guess. Overall, trash ass ending. I hope my theory is kind of right. The global dinosaur gameplay is just because, you know, since Fujimoto decides to rush the ending, I'm just gonna have dinosaur gameplay, Google dinosaur gameplay the entire time over here, and only have like either cuts from the manga in here or like transitions, or like cuts of stuff that I feel like wasn't necessary and would take too much of the time, or take too much of unnecessary time. Yeah, well that's the end of the video. Such a shame what happened, and